Olá, olá! Tudo bem, pessoal? Just checking if I'm live, if everything is working. Yes! Oi! Welcome to the Brazilian Portuguese Week. Today is the last day, guys. Today is the last live class of this week. Thank you so much for joining me today. This week was very intense, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed a lot meeting you every day of the week and teaching these classes. Let me know if you can hear me and hear me and see me well. Let me know in the comments. Say sim, sim. Let me see who is here. Armi Deus, oi, tudo bem? Graham, tudo bem, Graham? Milude, your name is Michael. Michael, tudo bem? Mitzi, oi, Mitzi. Oi, Lu. Oi, Jacob. Oi, Darren, tudo bem? Oi, Sasha. Who else is here? Mariano, oi, Mariano. Oi, Mila. Oi, Suzanne. Oi, Vincent, tudo bem? Oi, James. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Oh, a lot of people. Holy Ann, Beef Bonk, and Adventures of Truck. Tudo bem, pessoal? Okay, today I'll be speaking in English because we have a lot of beginner students in class. And today's class is going to be useful for all levels because I'm going to share with you 3 tips, study tips on how to improve for learning Portuguese, basically. 3 study tips for learning Portuguese. Okay, I'm going to share with you techniques that I use when I'm studying languages and give you some tips to how to improve, how to become more conversational. Oi, Francis, tudo bem? So let me see, I have a few announcements for you before we begin the class. So you guys can hear me well, right? I know. I'm a little bit sad because today is the last day, but I'm also happy because this week was so great. And I have a lot of amazing students in my school, and I'm very, very happy about that. So yeah, so that's one important announcement that I want to talk to you. It is that today is the last day of enrollment in my courses. So if you want to join me and be part of one of my courses, today is the last day for enrollment, today until midnight, until 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So don't leave it for later. If you like my classes, if you wanna have live classes with me every week with video and audio and learn a lot of Portuguese, join one of my courses. Okay, I have a course for beginners and of course for intermediate level students. I always focus on conversation since the beginning. Even if you are only a beginner, I'm going to encourage you to speak, right? So how to answer and ask simple questions since the beginning. And our intermediate level course is 100% in Portuguese and a lot of conversation practice, okay? So if you are interested, go to my website, school.speakingbrazilian.com. You see all my courses there, my free courses, and also my paid courses, okay? What else? As always, at the end of the class, I'm gonna give away one coaching session with me, a pronunciation coaching session via WhatsApp. This is gonna be a fun coaching session because I'm gonna send you a text for you to read and record an audio of yourself, and then I'm gonna give you a detailed feedback on your pronunciation and tips on how to improve your pronunciation. Okay, so stay with me until the end of the class and maybe you'll be a winner. Okay, no questions so far. So I'm going to share with you my screen to show you the page of the course. So guys, I prepared a PDF for today's class. It's a very useful PDF. So just go to school.speakingbrazilian.com to here in this website, you can see a lot of things, right? You can see all the replays of the classes that we had this week. You can download the free lesson guide for each class. These lesson guides are very complete. I explain the entire lesson and also give you exercises, and you can do your homework and share your homework with me at the end of the class, at the end of the session, and I'm gonna give you feedback on your homework, okay? And today is the last class, day 7. Today I'm going to talk about 3 study tips, and also I'll answer your questions at the end, okay? I'll leave some free time to answer your questions. So don't forget to go to this website, school.speakingbrazilian.com, and download your lesson guide, okay? I have all the details of this lesson in this lesson guide, and so you can have all this information for yourself, and also do the exercises at the end, okay? And this is the page of my beginners course. So same website, school.speakingbrazilian.com, and just click the essential course for beginners to see, to learn more about my beginners course. I have a lot of information here, and if you have any questions, just send me an email and I'll be available to answer your questions. This is the page for my intermediate level course, same website, school.speakingbrazilian.com, and just click Speaking Brazilian Academy. The Academy is actually a membership site, okay? I provide a lot of materials for you to study every month, and we meet once a week for a conversation class. So this is a very fun program, and the students are learning a lot, and the live classes are very fun. And if you are intermediate level, if you can understand Portuguese and speak Portuguese, this is the right course for you, okay? But if you're not sure what your level is, I offer a placement test. So to do the placement test, you just go to my website, speakingbrazilian.com. I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to evaluate your level and tell you what is the best course for you. So you go to my website, speakingbrazilian.com, oops, and then click here, courses, placement test. And here you can take this test, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible and recommend the best course for you, okay? So I know this is a lot of information. If you have questions, just send me an email, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. So I'm going to stop sharing this page so we can start our class. And I'm going to share with you the lesson of today. Let me see if you have questions, guys. Okay, no questions so far. Give me 1 second to open the lesson guide for today's class. Okay. So here's the lesson guide. You can download this guide on my website. So today I'm going to give you 3 tips, 3 study tips for learning Portuguese. I've made videos about these tips before, but for today I selected the 3 most important tips, in my opinion, for studying a foreign language, okay? And the first one that I want to talk to you about is how to memorize stuff. You know, it is difficult, right, to memorize vocabulary. It's overwhelming, a lot of new words and verbs and conjugation, etc. So what I recommend is use spaced repetition system. And this is my favorite one, Anki. The name of the app is Anki or Anki Web. Anki is a free program, guys. You can use it for free online, or you can download it to your desktop or laptop. They have a version for smartphones that is not free. It is paid. But the free version that you can use on your laptop is very good. So you don't have to pay if you don't want, Of course, if you think it is worth it, it is a very good app. If you want to have it on your phone, then you have to pay a small fee. I don't remember how much is it. But I really use the free version, and it is amazing. I'm going to show you today. And the important thing about this app is that one thing that you all know probably is that our brain forgets everything, right? If we don't use, our brain forgets. So if you learn one word today, there is a good chance that you won't remember this word like 2 days, 3 days from now, right? We just forget. It is how our brain works. So this, the repetition, this spaced repetition system is very interesting because the program will remind you the words that you need to remind at the right moment to avoid you forgetting these words, so you won't forget. So if you study this app, using this app every day, you won't forget the vocabulary that you learn. So this is amazing. This gives you a lot of time. Okay, so instead of just studying everything again, you just use the app, and you will remember everything you learn. Of course, some words are more difficult than others, but this helps a lot. I promise you that this app is amazing. And I'm going to show you how to download the app. I'm going to click here. I offer all these links, guys, on the PDF. Okay, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to share with you the other screen to show you. Where are, okay, I lost this screen for a while. So I'm going to share with the other screen to show you these apps that I just opened. Give me 1 second. Technical stuff, guys, not always easy for me. So I have to share with you the, not this one. Where is it? I can't find the page that I want to share with you. So I'm going to share the other one. Okay. So here you have the Anki web. So you just go to ankiweb.net, and then you can create your desk. They call decks, right? In Portuguese is baralho. And you can create as many decks as you want. And here I have one for German and one for Portuguese. I created one deck for Portuguese, guys, that you can download. You can see the link on the lesson guide. It is beginner level, but it's a very good starting point. And the good thing about Anki is that you can add as many cards as you want. Okay, and I'm going to show you here my German deck. And then all you have to do every day is to click the deck and study. So I have a lot of cards to review because I haven't been a good student this past few weeks. So I'm a little bit in my study. I'm a little late. So here I have the sentence in German, right? Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. And then I have to tell myself if I know what this means, right? And evaluate myself. So you have to be able to self-evaluate. And then you show the answer. I speak a little German. And then you have to tell if this was hard, good, or easy, or if it was too hard, just say to do this again. And then you give this information to the program. And based on this information, the program will know when to show you this card again. So just click good, and then it shows another card, and then so on. Okay. So I'm gonna leave, exit. So that's what you have to do. You have to study your decks every day, and I recommend that you add new cards every day. I'm not going to explain all the details about Anki today because I would have to spend like the entire class explaining all the details about Anki, but I highly recommend that you use this app. I give you all the links on the lesson guide. So download the lesson guide, and use the links, and you can download the deck in Portuguese that I created. It's a very good beginner deck, and you can add more cards, okay? Cards that are useful to you. So I always recommend that you don't waste time trying to memorize vocabulary that you are not going to use much, especially in the beginning. Just focus on words that you are really going to use, right? If it is a word that you think, when I'm gonna use that, just don't waste space on your brain learning something that you might not use often. Just like focus on the words and sentences that you need to learn. And also a second tip is try to memorize sentences instead of just words, if possible. Sometimes words are very useful, I know, but if you can put that word in a sentence, and instead of making cards with just one single word, make cards with sentences, then this way you learn much faster, because sometimes you know a word but you have no idea how to use that in a sentence, right? So make the cards already in a sentence. Use a subject, a verb, and an object, right? An entire sentence. And this way your brain, you'll learn much faster, you assimilate, and then when you need to use that word, you will be able to use it because you know how to use it in a sentence. Okay, so I recommend that you use Anki, and not only words, but also sentences. Write entire sentences and use that cards to learn and to memorize. Any questions about Anki so far? I know it can be a little complicated if you don't know the app, but it's not that difficult. Just download the app. I like the online app, the Anki web, but there is also a free version for your laptop, and you can sync both. You can sync the online and the desktop app, which is awesome. Muito bem. So I'm going to share again with you the lesson guide to see the next topic. Share. So you have all these links here on the lesson guide, so it's clickable. Okay, just click, and you see where to download the app, where to sign up for the Anki web, and where to download the deck in Portuguese that I created. Okay, this deck is a good place to start studying Portuguese with Anki app. Muito bem, pessoal. So now my second tip is, let me just have a little bit of water. So still about Anki, I just saw here that I wrote on the lesson guide. I recommend that you study a little bit every day. You don't have to study for a long time, just 10 minutes. Just take 10 minutes. So I know we are all busy, right? Busy lives. So if you don't have time to study Portuguese every day, if you take only 10 minutes and you study with this app, I assure you, you're going to learn a lot. So my recommendation is study for 10 minutes and add at least one new card a day. Because if you add just one new card a day at the end of the month, you know, like 30 new words or 30 new sentences, right? So this is a very good way to learn, and it is not overwhelming because it's just a little bit per day. But the consistency is very important when you're learning a new language, okay? Okay, now my next tip is imitation exercise. So what is this? This is very simple. You are basically going to imitate a native speaker. But how does it work? So first of all, I recommend that you listen to Portuguese as much as possible. Really, guys, all the time. Like, download podcasts on your phone and listen to podcasts when you are walking on the streets or driving to work. Of course, just be careful with the traffic, guys. But this is a very useful way of learning. Like every morning here, my husband and I, we listen to FIRI, French radio, because we are all the time studying. So this way we can study French while we are having breakfast. So it's a fun way to study, and it's a very interesting radio. So do that. Find a radio in Portuguese or download podcasts. Every morning when I go walking my dog in the park, I listen to podcasts either in French or in English to practice. And I also do my imitation exercises when I'm walking in the park. Some people may think that I'm crazy because it looks like I'm talking to myself. But to me, this is very useful, and I find this extremely useful. So the imitation exercise works like this. You're going to listen and repeat. So if you are a beginner, I recommend that you listen to just like one small sentence and then stop and then repeat, and then listen to one more sentence and then stop and then repeat. But if you are already intermediate or advanced, you can just play the audio and just repeat. Try to shadow, right? Try to shadow the native speaker and speak right after as a shadow, continuously, trying to repeat everything you hear continuously and at the same time, more or less at the same time, right after you hear the word, just repeat it. That's what I do when I'm studying French. I just click play the podcast, and I just repeat everything I hear. Sometimes like I skip a couple of words because it is the teacher speaks too fast, but I am able to speak and repeat almost every word. And it is a very intense exercise because I have to focus a lot. I have to pay attention to vocabulary and my pronunciation. This exercise is excellent to practice pronunciation because you are making yourself say all these words, right? Because languages, they have different phonemes, they have different movements that you have to do with your mouth. So if you don't speak the language aloud, the language that you're learning, you are never going to get used to it. So you need to speak aloud. And sometimes I know it is difficult to find someone to speak with, right? To find a Brazilian to speak with, to practice every day. This is very difficult. So this exercise works perfectly for this practice. Just listen and repeat aloud. It has to be allowed to practice your muscles, right? To practice how to produce all these sounds. Okay, so I hope I'm being clear. If you have questions, let me know, guys. And I recommend 2 podcasts for this exercise. There are many podcasts, right? Just these ones are the 2 that I mostly recommend. Speaking Brazilian Podcast is my podcast. And as you guys know, I speak Portuguese in a slow pace. I don't speak too fast. So this is a good podcast for you to start. So listen to my podcast and practice imitation with it, okay? It is available on iTunes and Podbean, and you have the link here also on the lesson guide, okay? When you download the lesson guide, you have the link. And the other podcast that I really like is Café Brasil podcast. It is regular Portuguese, okay? So they speak fast. They have like interviews. So this one is a little bit more challenging to practice imitation. But if you are already level intermediate or advanced, this podcast is a good option for you. And these 2 podcasts, they have the transcription on the website. So if you go to my website, you'll find the transcription of all my podcasts. And if you go to Café Brasil website, you also find the entire transcription. So if you want to read and listen at the same time, you have this option, okay? You can see the transcription and read in case you don't understand a word. Reading and listening at the same time is also an excellent exercise. So let me just check here the comments, guys. So Sasha says, great idea to repeat after, very useful. Obrigada, Sasha. Virginia, melhor professora. Todos os vídeos no YouTube são bons para isso. Yes, that's a great idea, Sasha. All my videos are very good to practice this imitation exercise. Okay, so just go to my YouTube channel, click on one video, click play, and then repeat everything I say. This is an excellent exercise. You're going to learn a lot, I promise. Jacob says, I download the PDF and the link. Oh, the link is not working for you guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do later, after the class, I'm going to post all the links below on the same page, on the page of the class. Okay, I'm gonna post all the links, just the links, so you can just click. Okay, I thought it would work because I added the link, but sometimes you know how it is, right? When I convert it into PDF, I probably lost the link. So I'm gonna post all these links on the Brazilian Portuguese Week website on this lesson, okay, this lesson's page. So you find all the links there. Okay. Teek says, if Portuguese speakers just spoke with subtitles in real life, that would be sorted. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have subtitles in real life. I know. Sometimes I would love to have that too in other languages. Perfect. Cody, this week has been a great learning experience, and thanks about the links, Virginia. Okay, guys. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, guys, for joining me today. So seriously, I'm very serious about this. This exercise works, okay? Do this, your Portuguese will improve a lot. Yeah, a Aileen diz, o podcast Café Brasil é ótimo. Eu adoro ouvir ao Luciano. Yeah, it is a fun podcast. They talk about a lot of different things. It is a very nice podcast to practice Portuguese and to learn more also about Brazilian culture and what's going on in Brazil, right? It's a very fun podcast. It's not like to learn. It's not for, it is a podcast for Brazilians, actually. It's not a podcast for learners of Portuguese. So they really speak natural Portuguese. So Ken, the Nishman, I missed the first 30 minutes, sorry. Okay, you can watch a replay later, okay? You can just go to my website and watch a replay later, school.speakingbrazilian.com, Brazilian Portuguese Week. You find all the links, all the replays on the website, okay? Laura diz, minha professora tem muitas boas ferramentas para ensinar. Obrigada, Laura, você é uma querida. Mariana is asking about European Portuguese. I don't have experience to talk about European Portuguese, and I don't know any teacher. I'm sorry, Mariana. I only can talk about Brazilian Portuguese. I'm sure that if you learn Brazilian Portuguese, it helps a lot with European Portuguese because after all, it's the same language, right? The only difference is the accent, and there are a few differences in vocabulary and grammar, but it is in essence the same language. So I'm sure that if you learn Brazilian Portuguese, you will also be able to communicate with people from Portugal. Yeah, Darren said that tried Café Brasil and it was too hard. Yeah, it is very challenging, Darren. I know. You have to. I recommend that in the beginning, if it is too challenging, read and listen at the same time. So open the website and listen to the podcast and read at the same time. This way, you will be able to understand because reading is always easier than listening, right? Okay, so Virginia Graham says, if we missed homework and we make it up later, will you still evaluate it? Yes, you can. You can just post the homework on the website and I will give you feedback, guys. You can do this, take your time. You can do this during next week because I know this week was very intense, a lot of exercises and classes. So do that and I will still give you feedback, okay? And Darren says there are some good sites for European Portuguese. Yeah, I'm sure. Unfortunately, I don't know anyone. I have to check that out so I can recommend to people. But feel free to share one if you know a good one, Darren. Okay. Muito bem, so let's move on to the next tip, which is faça scripts de conversação. Create conversation scripts. What I want to talk about here, guys, is that memorizing words and sentences is important. But if you memorize only like words and small sentences, this will not help you to become fluent, right? Because when you sit down, when you are in front of a native speaker and you need to talk, you have to spend a long time thinking and trying to remember what to say. It's overwhelming. So what I recommend is that you write scripts on various subjects, different topics, that you usually talk to people about these things, and then prepare yourself for having these conversations in Portuguese. So I'm going to give you examples to make this clear. What do I mean with scripts? So basically, you're going to think about questions, conversations that you have on your day-to-day conversations in different situations. Usually, what do you talk about, like with strangers, or when you meet a person for a first time, or with your friends or coworkers? Think about the most common topics, and then write down the most common questions that you ask or that people ask you, and write down the answers. Of course, you need to adapt this exercise to your level. If your level is beginner, you have to start with very simple things, very simple questions and simple answers. And if your level is intermediate or advanced, you can create a more elaborate script, okay? So I'm going to give you one example. Let's think about, for instance, in common questions when you meet a person for the first time. Let's see, you go to a party in Brazil and you're talking to someone. What kind of questions are the most common ones? Então, por exemplo, de onde você é? Where are you from? Onde você mora? Where do you live? O que você faz? What do you do? O que você gosta de fazer nas horas livres? What do you like to do in your spare time? Things like that. You can add you can think of different questions. These are just examples. And what I would like, and what I recommend you to do is that to then write the answer that you would give to these questions in Portuguese. So I'll give you my example. Meu nome é Virgínia. Eu sou brasileira, mas eu moro nos Estados Unidos. Eu moro no Brooklyn com meu marido e meu cachorrinho. Eu sou professora de português, mas nas horas livres eu gosto de assistir a filmes ou de passear com meu cachorro no parque. So you see, here I prepared a script to talk about myself. It's very simple, but if I write this down and I memorize this, I will be ready to talk about this in any situation. So, guys, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes, and I want you to do this exercise right now. Think about questions. You can use these questions, and you can use my answer as a template, or you can also think about different questions and different answers. Feel free to write your personalized script and adapt the script to your level. If you are a beginner, write very simple answers. If you are more advanced, you can elaborate more and talk more. So take a couple of minutes to write this down. Write on paper, write on a computer, and then leave a comment for me. Write on the comments at least 2 or 3 sentences about yourself. Talk about yourself. What did you tell people that you just met? What did you tell them about yourself? Let's practice this very simple script. And while you think about your script, I'm going to tell you a story about myself, a real story. Just drinking water here. So I'm going to leave the example here on the screen so you can read it. So when I moved to New York 6 years ago, 2013, I could understand English, but it was very difficult for me to speak. And then I decided to take classes at the university at Hunter College. I took creative writing classes and literature classes. But then when I was in class, I could understand everything. But when I was asked to speak, I just froze. I would just freeze completely. It was impossible for me to speak. I was not secure, and I could not formulate sentences. I could not talk about my opinion about books and writing, etc. I would completely freeze, even though I could understand everything and I had a good level of English at the time. So that was very frustrating for me. And that's exactly what I did. I did scripts. So I started to prepare myself in advance. I knew that in class we would talk about certain topics, right? We would read a book and talk about that book. So what I did, I started to write down a couple of paragraphs about what I wanted to say about that book or about that assignment or whatever. And then in class, and then before, this is very important, I practiced my script aloud at home. I practiced aloud many times. So I would read my paragraph aloud to myself to make sure that I could pronounce that words. Because sometimes you think, when you just think about it, your pronunciation is amazing. But then when you open your mouth to speak, you realize that that word is not that easy to pronounce. So you have to practice aloud. So that's what I did. I would read these paragraphs aloud, practice a couple of times by myself. And then when I was in class, I was confident enough to speak and to talk about my opinion about that book that we were reading, because I had prepared the script in advance. So this works, guys. I guarantee you that this works. So my recommendation is that you do like many different scripts for many different situations. And in the beginning, you're going to have to memorize them, right? But after a while, it becomes more natural because you will assimilate the content. So you won't have to memorize the same things anymore. And then you can create more elaborate scripts about more different topics. Like, I recommend you create a script about your job, about your family, about things that you like to do, about your trips, about anything that you like to talk about. And then write down your script, memorize it, practice this script aloud by yourself. Make sure that you are comfortable with the pronunciation of each word. And then I promise you that if you do that, you will feel more confident when you are speaking with a native speaker, okay? When you are speaking Portuguese, because you practice, right? You're not saying that for the first time. You know you are talking, you are saying something that you have practiced it before. So, okay, now I'm gonna read your comments. If you haven't done this exercise yet, take a couple of minutes, prepare a small script, and write down in the comments so I can read, and also I can give you feedback. Let me see. O Can diz, cantar em português e ouvir músicas do Brasil. This is a very good way of learning too, singing in Portuguese and listening to songs in Portuguese. Yeah, guys, Brazilian music is so beautiful. I also recommend that. So, ok, Can diz, meu nome Can, eu sou turco. So, meu nome é Can. Eu moro em Istambul com meu gato e sou solteiro. Sou professor de inglês numa universidade e nas horas livres eu gosto de fazer muitas coisas. Por exemplo, assistir a filmes ou fazer coisas com meus amigos. Muito bom, Can. Muito bom, excelente. Excelente. So just don't forget the verb. Meu nome é Can. Eu moro em Istambul com... You can say minha gata if it is feminine, or meu gato if it is masculine. Ok? Meu gato, masculine. Minha gata, feminine. Muito bom, Can. Let me see what else I have here. Great. Suzanne says that I do that a lot with my dolphin work. I write out many things I need to talk about. That's a good exercise. That's very good. Yes, Jacob, Suzanne was yesterday in class. Okay, what else? I'm looking for other comments to see if I missed something, guys. I'm sorry if I missed your comments. There are a lot of comments here, and sometimes it's hard for me to see everything. So, what else? A Mitzi diz, meu nome é Mitzi, eu moro em Israel, eu sou professora de inglês, eu gosto de ler e aprender idiomas. Perfeito, Mitzi, ótimo. Excelente. Frederick diz, boa tarde, eu sou da Noruega, eu tenho 17 anos, eu gosto de cozinhar e eu gosto de ler. O meu livro favorito é Infinite Jest. Wow, Infinite Jest, I have never read this book, but I saw the movie about it. It is an amazing movie. So, Frederick, a couple of details. Eu sou da Noruega, ok? Noruega is a feminine country. Da Noruega. Eu tenho 17 anos. Eu gosto de cozinhar. So the verb gostar is always used with the preposition de. Eu gosto de cozinhar. Tá bem? Muito bom. Who else? So, just looking at your comments, guys. Adventures of Truck says, onde você mora? Eu sou Estados Unidos. So Adventures, you have to say, eu sou dos Estados Unidos, ok? Don't miss the preposition. Eu sou dos Estados Unidos, tá bem? A Verônica diz, meu nome é Verônica, eu sou americana, eu moro em Michigan, eu vou estudar português por 3 meses. Eu gosto do meu trabalho, eu sou piloto. Muito bom, Verônica. A few details. Meu nome é Verônica. There is the accent, the verb missing. Meu nome é, as you can see here on the screen. Meu nome é Verônica. Eu sou americana. Eu moro em Michigan. In this case, it's Michigan. It is a city. It's a gender neutral city. Eu estudo português. If you mean, I have been studying for 3 months, you have to say, eu estudo português há 3 meses. But if you mean the future tense, I'm going to study, then you should say, eu vou estudar português. Eu gosto do meu trabalho, ok? There is also the preposition missing. Eu gosto do meu trabalho. Muito bom, Verônica, ótimo. What else? O Graham says, meu nome é Graham, eu sou musicista e eu viajo no mundo todo para tocar música. Eu moro no Queens, Nova York, mas eu fui para o Brasil muitas vezes. Muito bom, Graham. Meu nome é Graham, sou musicista, eu viajo. You could say, para o mundo todo, ou eu viajo o mundo todo para tocar música. Eu moro no Queens. Eu fui para o Brasil muitas vezes. Perfeito, muito bom, Graham. Qual mais? What else? Very good, guys. You're doing a great job. Muito bem. O Jacob diz, meu nome é Jacob, eu moro em Toronto. Nas horas livres eu gosto de estudar português. Perfeito, Jacob. O Vincent diz, oi, tudo bem? Meu nome é Vincent, e você? Eu moro em Queens. E você, onde você mora? Eu sou contador. Perfeito, Vincent. Muito bom. A Suzanne, meu nome é Suzanne, eu moro em Nova Orleans. Eu sou treinadora de golfinhos. Treinadora, Suzanne. Treinadora. Treinadora. Muito bom. Sasha diz, eu sou Sasha, eu sou russo-americano, que apaixonou pelo Brasil e ficou morando em São Paulo, no Brasil. Uau, que legal, Sasha. You live in São Paulo, that's amazing. Que se apaixonou, apaixonar is a pronominal verb, se apaixonou pelo Brasil e ficou morando em São Paulo. Perfeito. Muito bem, what else, guys? Cody says, meu nome é Cody, eu treino muito e estudo, eu continuo super saudável e amo comida também. Muito bom, Cody. Ótimo. Okay, guys, great examples here. So Ken is asking me a question. Can I ask you something. Is there a difference between cadê and onde? I saw your video over this, but I don't know if there is a difference in connotation. Yes. No, actually, okay, sorry. I'm going to show you here at the end the difference. So, cadê is a very informal way of saying onde está? Where is it? So, cadê is one single word that means actually a phrase. So, it means onde está? Cadê? Onde está? Por exemplo, onde está meu celular? É o mesmo, it means the same thing that cadê meu celular? Where is my cell phone? Okay, so this means the same thing. Onde está? Onde está meu celular? Cadê meu celular? Okay? So it's usually to ask where is something. Muito bem. Great question, Kan. Any other questions, guys? So these are the tips that I wanted to talk to you about today. As I said, I recommend that you write several different scripts on different subjects so you can be prepared to talk about different things. And first, write a very simple one, then memorize it and practice, and then write a more advanced one, and so on. There is actually no rules as how many scripts you can write. It's up to you. And also recommend that you use the Anki that I just talked in the beginning of the class to help you memorize the scripts, right? You can write a couple of sentences in one card and see if you can memorize that group, that small paragraph using Anki app. Okay? This is going to be very helpful. And if you download, don't forget to go to my website and download the lesson guide. And here I also added this exercise so you can practice. I added one more, like two scripts in present tense. And it is important that you also practice write scripts in different verb tenses, right? Like in present, past, and future, different situations, different verb tenses. So you are prepared to talk about different things. A Mercedes diz: eu sou de Nova York, eu amo a língua portuguesa, eu gostei dessas aulas porque eu amo esta língua e sua música. Muito bom, Mercedes, ótimo. O Mariano diz: boa tarde, Virgínia, meu nome é Mariano, moro em Buenos Aires, na Argentina, sou estudante de português e gosto de estudar vários idiomas. Excelente. A Laura diz: eu sou mexicana, moro nos Estados Unidos, em Viena, sou contadora e adoro português. Perfeito, Laura. O Simon diz: meu nome é Simon, eu sou indonésio, eu moro no Brasil, em Mogi das Cruzes, com minha esposa, sou professor de língua inglesa, nas horas livres eu estudo português. Excelente, Simon, excelente. So guys, now we have time for questions. So I decided to have a little bit more time today to answer your questions. Questions about this class, about any classes that we had this week, about my new courses that are starting next week. Think about questions and write me in the comments. I'm going to try to answer all your questions as much as possible today. We still have 10 minutes, so let's use this 10 minutes well. While you think about your questions, I'm always looking to the side because I can see your comments right here. While you think about your questions, I'm going to remind you, don't miss the date to sign up for my courses. Today is the last day. And after today, I'll be closing the enrollment for several months. So if you want to learn Portuguese with me during this summer, this is the last day to sign up, okay? Go to my website, school.speakingbrazilian.com, and sign up today. Don't leave it for later. If you like my classes, if you like my style, if you want to have live classes with me every month and join my WhatsApp group and ask me and to be in touch with me every day and ask as many questions as you want about your Portuguese, I'm going to guide you and teach you everything you need to know to improve and to advance your Portuguese to the next level. So don't miss the date. And two important things about my courses is that if you're not sure, I offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not sure, maybe I should join, maybe I should not, I offer this guarantee. So there is really no risk. You can join the course. You can try it for 30 days. If you decide that it was not what you were looking for, just let me know and I send you a full refund. Okay, that's my guarantee. And second, my classes are interactive. So even though the classes are online, it is important to know, guys, that I'm a real teacher. I'm here. I'm Virginia. I'm not a computer. I'm not an app. I'm a real person, and I will be teaching you and guiding you in your lessons. Okay, you're not going to be alone, you and the computer studying by yourself. Of course, there are some lessons that I'm going to give you for you to study by yourself because this is important. I cannot teach you live classes every day. I'll teach you live classes just once a week. So it is important to have time to study by yourself, but you won't be alone, okay? You can always count on me. So these two things are very important for you to know before you sign up. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? Now I'm gonna read the comments. Let me see. I'm going to do the exercise. Muito bom, eu irei fazer exercícios. Muito bem, adventures. Adventures is asking how long to be fluent in Brazilian Portuguese. Oh, that's a very complicated question. Because to be fluent, it depends a lot on each person. It depends a lot on your background. For instance, if you are Spanish speaker, it will be much easier and faster for you because the languages are very similar. So if you speak any Romance language, French, Spanish, Italian, learning Portuguese is going to be much easier and faster, and you probably become fluent in a faster time, much faster than a person that only speaks English or German, for instance, right? Because it helps a lot. The grammar is very similar. Many words are similar. So that's one thing, that's one point. And the second point is that it depends a lot on your dedication. Because if you study just for 1 hour once a week, it can take you years to become fluent in any language, not only Portuguese. I'm talking about any language here. But if you study every day, at least for 30 minutes, 1 hour every day, there is a good chance you'll be fluent in that language in a few months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. It depends. It is very hard for me to tell you will be fluent in 3 months. I don't believe that is actually possible unless you live in the country and you study the language for like 8 hours a day, then maybe. But learning a language is a lot of hard work, not only Portuguese, any language. So it requires a lot of dedication, and you need to take your time and study regularly. Okay, so what I offer is the support and guidance. Okay, I offer my students all the material that I think it is useful for them, and I'm always available to help and answer questions. But the student you guys need to really take your time and study and practice and dedicate yourself to learning the language that you want to learn. Okay, so this was Adventures of Truck question. Frederick, is it a good idea to read Café Brasil and just Google Translate the words? I don't know, most of them. It is, you can use Google Translator. Google Translator used to be very bad. It is getting much better. However, when it is an expression, it cannot translate at all. So sometimes if it is a common word, like and the meaning of the word is the normal meaning, let's say, then the Google Translator works well. But if the word is being used in a different sense, in an expression, an idiomatic way, then the Google Translator is a disaster. So it depends. So you can use Google Translator. I think it's a very useful tool. Just be careful because it is not always accurate. So this was Frederick's question. Cody is asking, is there any more free courses other than these on your site? Oh, okay. So if you go to my website, Portuguese week, I have a list of free resources. I have a lot of free stuff, guys. I have more than 50 videos on YouTube and podcasts, and a course in Portuguese and Brazilian Portuguese pronunciation that is very good. It's a 7-day course. What else? I have my blog with a lot of lessons, so I have a lot of free stuff for you to study by yourself. So yeah, go to Brazilian Portuguese Week. On the beginning of the lessons, I have a list of all my free resources. Okay, go there, Cody, take a look. school.speakingbrazilian.com, Brazilian Portuguese Week, and you also find the mini course in pronunciation there. Cody is asking, how long is the new class starting tomorrow and the costs? So, okay, I'm going to show you. I have 2 classes, beginner class and intermediate level class. So, my beginner class it is a regular course with beginning, middle, and end. So this is the page. And this is the inside the course. So this is my beginner's class. We have 3 levels. Each level is 1 month. So the course takes 3 months, 12 weeks. And we will meet live for 12 weeks, okay? And then you will have access to these lessons for as long as you want, okay? It's a lifetime access, but the live lessons will be for only 12 weeks. And I recommend that you take all the lessons in 12 weeks if possible, but if you don't have time to take all the lessons, you can come back and take the lessons at your own pace, okay? It's self-paced. The price for the beginner's course, a 3-month course, is $297. What is the price, guys, at the end? So this is the price. It's $297, and I also offer installments. Okay, you can pay in 3 installments, and of course, I offer a money-back guarantee, 30-day money-back guarantee in this course. And this course is intensive, which means you have like 12 months worth of material in this course. I used to teach classes in New York, and I took about 1 year, 3 semesters to teach everything that I added in this course, okay? And on this page, you can see everything that is covered in the beginner's course. You can read all the details on my page, school.speakingbrazilian.com. So basic, in the first month, you'll learn all the essential vocabulary, grammar, and basic conversation skills. On the second month, you'll learn how to talk about things you like, express your opinion about simple things, and a few more things, and a lot of irregular verbs. And on the third month, you improve your conversation skills, and we are going to review all the important content so you don't forget. So basically, you learn everything that you need to learn to advance from beginner to intermediate level. So you know all the main vocabulary and the main verb tenses, and how to talk about all the most common topics, okay? Now, my intermediate level course costs only $35 a month, guys. So it's very, very non-expensive. And this is a membership course. So there is no beginning, middle, and end. It is a membership class. So every month you have new materials, and you have classes every week. Live classes, interactive live classes every week, for only $35 a month. You have other options here, but this is the most common one, okay? Okay, I think I've answered your question. Let's stop sharing and see what other questions do you guys have. So Mercedes, I have downloaded all the beginners courses, so I believe there's no need to register to a beginner course. So we follow the Anki deck. Is this a good idea? Well, Mercedes, you mean that you downloaded the course that I offered for you to try for the weekend? That is just the first module. My beginner's course, the entire course is made of 12 modules. So if you have access only to the first module, it's just related to the first week. So if you want to learn all the content of my beginner's course, you need to enroll for the course. Okay, I don't give this course for free. I give a lot of things for free, but I need to charge for a few courses, guys, because this is my full-time job. Okay, I actually spend a lot of time. I think I spend more time working on my free content than on my paid content, but I need to have paid courses, otherwise I wouldn't be able to give you all this content for free. Okay, so my beginner's course is not for free. If you want to have access to the entire course, you need to enroll for my course. Okay, Mercedes? Adventures of Chuck has a very interesting question. Does learning multiple languages at the same time complicate learning process? It depends. That's a very good question. It is obviously recommended that you learn one language at a time, because one very simple thing: do you have time to dedicate yourself to learn two languages? Because you need to study, I recommend at least 30 to 1 hour a day to really learn a language. Do you have like 1 hour to 2 hours a day to study like 1 hour of one language and 1 hour of the other language? This is the question, really. Do you have time? I think it is possible to learn two languages at the same time, but you need to have time for that. And a second point is that if the languages are too similar, it can be a little bit confusing. For instance, if you learn Spanish and Portuguese at the same time, there is a big chance that you're going to mix them both. So recommend, if you want to learn two languages at the same time, that you learn different languages, like Portuguese and German. They are so different, it is impossible to mix them up. So yeah, so that's my 2 cents about this. Khan is asking, I really like the way you teach as a teacher. I'm just curious if you also provide any certificates upon completion of your courses. Yes, I do. I provide a certificate for my beginner's course. At the end, I have a quiz. You have all you have to do is take the quiz, and if you have a grade of at least 70%, I give you a certificate. Okay, all my students that want a certificate, just do the quiz and I give you a certificate. I haven't yet given certificate for my intermediate level course, but I can provide a certificate if a student needs it, okay, or wants it. What else? Sasha says, would you be able to have another hour-long session about subjunctive forms in Portuguese? Is a very complicated subject, and you describe very well topics in very detail. Sasha, I don't have this planned yet. Maybe next time. I'm planning. This week was so amazing, guys. So I'm planning to have maybe a similar event in a few months. I don't have a date yet. I don't have anything planned yet, but maybe next time, yes. But I don't have this planned yet. But I'll let you know. So if you're not on my mailing list, make sure to enter my mailing list so you receive information about future classes. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and add. If you register for my Brazilian Portuguese week, you are on my mailing list, okay? And then you will receive information about my future live classes. This is a good idea. Subjunctive, I know it is tough. Jacob is asking, are there any Brazilian movies or TV programs that you would say are appropriate for Portuguese learners? Yes, there are a lot of Brazilian TV series and movies on Netflix, actually. And one interesting thing is that you can add subtitles in Portuguese. So if you're not like a complete beginner, if you can already understand Portuguese, I recommend that you watch the TV series or movie with subtitles and audio in Portuguese. This is very helpful. You're going to learn a lot. I don't remember. There is one web series called 3%. It's Brazilian, and it is available on Netflix. There is a movie called Aquarius, also on Netflix. I have a list of this somewhere on my computer, but I don't remember by heart. But Jacob, if you want to send me an email about this, I can send you this list. Tá bem? Sasha says, you have some short lessons that I loved, but a long and more descriptive course would be great to have on YouTube. Yes, about the subjunctive, yes. Adventures of Truck says, learning Brazilian Portuguese, Hindi, Spanish. Wow, you're learning a lot of languages at the same time. Good luck with that, Adventures. I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. If you really have time for that, I think it's a great thing to do. Veronica says, I'm having trouble with Anki. I'll have to email you. Yes, email me. I can help you with that, Veronica. Also, Veronica, you are on my beginner's course. I have a tutorial about Anki in the beginning of the beginner's course. Take a look at the first instruction sections, and I have a tutorial about Anki that is very useful. Tá bem? Suzanne, can you recommend any Brazilian movies on Netflix that we have subtitles? Yes, Suzanne, I don't remember by heart, but I know there is one excellent movie called Aquarius, Brazilian, on Netflix. Also, Suzanne, I can send you this by email. Email me because I don't think I'll remember everything I'm talking about in this class. So email me and I can send you a list of movies and web series on Netflix. Vincent is saying, oi, professora, você faz trips ao Brasil? Além disso, se você pode visitar mais de um estado em Brasil? You mean if I do trips with students to Brazil, Vincent? I have never done that. That would be really fun, maybe one day. I usually go to Brazil once a year to visit friends and family. I'm planning to go to Brazil in July. It's going to be amazing. Yes, Suzanne, my student, Suzanne Smith, she organizes trips to Brazil, guys. This is awesome. She goes to Amazonia. If you're interested, she's right here on the chat. Talk to her. What else? I'm reading your comments. Oi, Virginia. James is saying, oi, Virginia, I'm an absolute beginner, but I'm glad I found you. You have been very helpful. Muito obrigada. It's my pleasure, James. I'm glad you are attending all my classes. Cody says, Cody, you are a great person to look up to. I'm glad to have you to help and appreciate your time. Oh, thank you, guys. You are so sweet. Graham, I have many problems with Google Translator, but it has some uses. Yeah, it is useful. Just be careful because not always it is correct. Mariana, uma pergunta: como faço para pensar só em português? So Mariana is asking a very tough question. How do you think in Portuguese? Wow, that's very difficult, right? You need to. There's no simple answer for this, Mariana. You have to practice a lot. The more you are in contact with the language, the more the language will be like part of yourself. So you need to listen to Portuguese a lot, speak and practice a lot, do all these exercises that are recommended you today. And with time, you will start thinking in Portuguese, okay? But you need time and a lot of practice, okay? So Reverb is asking, what time are the weekly classes for the academy sessions every week? Excellent question, Reverb. I have two options that you can choose. I have classes every Thursdays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So you can join one or the other, okay? You can choose the best option for you. And one important thing is that if you miss a live class, you can watch a replay later. So this is useful if you miss a class for some reason, you can go to the website later and watch a replay. Tá bem? Okay, Mariano. Okay, I read that already. Adventures of Truck. How do you get the Brazilian alphabet keyboard? Oh, that you have to go. It is hard to explain without showing you, but you have to go to your settings. You can choose the international keyboard, US international keyboard, and this US international keyboard allows you to add accents. It is hard to explain without showing you how it is. But it is completely possible. International, just go to settings, keyboard, international, US international. Uma pergunta. Okay, I already answered this. Okay, what else, guys? I really enjoyed the class. Thank you, guys. You are amazing. Reverb is saying that 3% is really good. It's a web series. Oh, there's another, O Mecanismo. So Reverb is giving tips here, guys, about Brazilian programs on Netflix. O Mecanismo, I've heard of that too. I haven't watched, but I've heard it is good. Okay, let me see if you have any more questions. Castelo Rá-Tim-Bum. That's amazing. That reminds me of my childhood, Jacob. Castelo Rá-Tim-Bum. Okay, guys, just finishing reading. I don't want to miss any questions that you have. I watched Aquarius, okay, at least 3 times, and it's great. That's amazing, Vincent. I love your work from India. Oh, I love India. I've been to India in 2013. It was an amazing trip. Okay, I guess you guys don't have any other questions, right? So let me know, guys, if you have any questions. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the giveaway of my coaching session with via WhatsApp. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the chat, and I'm gonna say the name of the first person that I see. Okay, and this person is gonna win one coaching session with me via WhatsApp, and then I'm gonna explain everything how it works later. Sorry, I'm tired. I cannot speak English anymore right now. So 1, 2, 3. Are you ready? So the winner is Jacob. You are the winner. Shadow 9449. So Jacob, you are a winner. And today, just because it's the last class, I'm gonna give you 2. I'm gonna give 2 coaching sessions. And the second winner is Reverb. Reverb, I don't know your name. So Reverb is also a winner. So I have 2 winners today, Jacob and Reverb. Jacob and Reverb. Send me an email about this, and I'll explain to you how we are going to work on this coaching session via WhatsApp. I'm going to help you with your pronunciation. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I have no more questions. I think I explained everything to you I answered all your questions. This was a very fun week. Thank you so much. I know we passed the time already, but I'm enjoying spending time with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me this entire week. It was amazing. It made me very happy. Don't forget to sign up for my courses if you want to learn Portuguese with me for the next beginner's course for the next 3 months, or if you want to be part of my academy of intermediate level students. And let me know if you have any questions. Just send me an email. I'm always available to help. Virginia@speakingbrazilian.com. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bom domingo para vocês, pessoal. Beijo grande. Tchau, tchau.